Hey there, nature lover. Think you know the polar bear? Get ready, because it's not actually white. Its skin is black, and its fur is hollow and transparent. Today, we're meeting the biggest land predator on the planet. A giant that can swim 100 kilometers non-stop, has a sense of smell so powerful it can detect a seal from 1.6 kilometers away. How does it survive minus 50 degrees Celsius temperatures? Why is it endangered? And is it true that polar bears and brown bears are interbreeding? Let's uncover all the secrets of the polar bear. Let's head to the Arctic. The polar bear lives exclusively in the Arctic, one of the most extreme environments on the planet. It is found in only 5 regions of the world: Canada, Alaska, Russia, Greenland, and Norway, all in the far north, where ice dominates the landscape. The perfect habitat? Sea ice. That's right. The polar bear spends most of its life on floating ice over the Arctic Ocean. It doesn't live on land like other bears. It's practically a marine bear. Why is the ice so important? Because that's where it hunts. Seals, its favorite prey, come up through holes in the ice to breathe. And that's where the bear strikes. A male polar bear's territory can be gigantic, up to 350,000 square kilometers. They travel huge distances searching for food. And here's a fascinating fact. Polar bears are the only bears considered marine animals. They're scientifically classified as marine mammals because they depend completely on the ocean to survive. The temperature in the Arctic can drop to minus 50 degrees Celsius. Yet the polar bear is perfectly adapted to thrive in this extreme cold. Now let's talk about the body of this giant. The polar bear is the largest land carnivore in the world. Males can weigh between 400 and 800 kilograms, about the size of a small car. Standing on their hind legs, they can reach up to 3 meters tall. Females are smaller, weighing between 200 and 300 kilograms, but still enormous. And now for the amazing part about their fur. Everyone thinks polar bears are white, but they're not. First surprise, the skin is black. That's right, black as coal. This helps absorb heat from the sun. Second surprise, the FUR isn't actually white. It's translucent and hollow. Each hair is like a tiny tube. They reflect light, which is why they appear white. The hollow hairs also act as insulation, trapping warm air close to the body. Third surprise, under certain angles of light, the bear can appear yellowish or even green. The green happens when algae grow inside the hollow hairs. The layer of fat? It can be up to 11 centimeters thick. Think of it as an internal blanket that keeps the bear warm. The paws are huge, up to 30 centimeters wide. They work like snowshoes, distributing weight so the bear doesn't sink into the ice. On the bottom, they have small textured bumps that act like anti-slip grips. Between the toes, partially webbed skin, making the paws true swimming tools. The polar bear is an exceptional swimmer, and the claws, curved, sharp, and up to 6 centimeters long. Perfect for grabbing slippery seals and for traction on the ice. What does the Arctic giant eat? The polar bear is a hypercarnivore. More than 90% of its diet is meat. Its favorite prey? Seals, especially ringed seals and bearded seals. An adult polar bear needs to eat about 2 kilograms of seal fat every day just to maintain its weight. Its hunting technique? Infinite patience. The bear waits beside a seal's breathing hole in the ice, where seals surface to breathe, for hours, sometimes 10 to 12 hours without moving a muscle. When the seal finally comes up, wham! The bear strikes with one powerful paw, pulling the seal out of the hole The blow is so strong it can kill the seal instantly. Another method, ambush hunting. The bear swims silently beneath the ice and surprises a seal resting on top. Besides seals, polar bears also eat walruses, though they're tough prey, stranded whales, bird eggs, and chicks carrion. A sad fact, as Arctic ice melts, polar bears are spending more time on land, where food is scarce. Some have even been seen raiding garbage dumps in Arctic towns, desperately searching for something to eat. Now, the superpowers of the polar bear. First, extraordinary swimming. Polar bears can swim up to 100 kilometers without stopping. Some have been recorded swimming for 9 consecutive days, covering over 600 kilometers. They swim at about 10 kilometers per hour, faster than most humans. They can also dive, staying underwater for up to 2 minutes and reaching depths of 6 meters. Second, incredible sense of smell. Polar bears can smell a seal from 1.6 kilometers away and detect seals under 1 meter of ice. This is one of the sharpest noses in the animal kingdom. Third, extreme cold resistance. While humans would perish in minutes at -50 degrees Celsius, polar bears are comfortable. Their real problem is overheating. When they run, up to 40 kilometers per hour for short distances, they quickly stop to avoid getting too hot. Fourth, multifunctional paws. They serve for swimming, like flippers, walking on ice, anti-slip, digging in snow, for dens, hunting, sharp claws. Fifth, energy conservation. When food is scarce, polar bears enter a state called walking metabolism. Their metabolism slows to save energy. They can survive months with little or no food. How does the polar bear live? Polar bears are solitary animals. Except during mating season or when a mother is with her cubs, they live and hunt alone. They are nomadic, constantly on the move, following sea ice and searching for food. But there are interesting exceptions. In places where there's plenty of food, like a dead whale, several bears may gather to feed. In these moments, there's a hierarchy. Large adult males eat first, followed by big females, then smaller bears, and finally, the young ones. Polar bears are usually calm around each other. Serious fights are rare. When they meet, they often perform a kind of greeting dance, touching noses and walking in circles as a form of communication. However, males can be dangerous to cubs. Cases of infanticide occur when an adult male kills cubs so that the female will enter heat again. During summer, when the ice melts too much, some bears move to land. There, they basically fast for months, living off their fat reserves. During this time, they sleep a lot and move very little to save energy. An amazing curiosity: polar bears are clean. After eating, they meticulously clean their fur by rolling in the snow or swimming. Keeping their fur clean is essential for insulation against the cold. How are new Arctic giants born? The mating season happens during the Arctic spring, between April and May. Males follow the scent trail of females for kilometers. When they finally meet, they can stay together for up to a week. But here's something fascinating. The fertilized egg does not implant immediately. It remains in a state of suspension for 4 to 5 months. It only attaches to the uterus if the female has accumulated enough fat to sustain the pregnancy. In autumn, between October and December, pregnant females dig dens in the snow. These dens are tunnels with chambers where they will give birth. The temperature inside can be up to 20 degrees Celsius warmer than outside. And here's the shocking part. The cubs are tiny. They weigh only about 600 grams, the size of a guinea pig. They are born blind, deaf, and hairless, The mother doesn't leave the den for 3 to 4 months. She fasts completely during this time, living only on stored fat while nursing her cubs with milk that's about 30% fat. When they finally emerge from the den in spring, the cubs already weigh 10 to 15 kilograms. They stay with their mother for 2 to 3 years, learning how to hunt and survive. Infant mortality is high. Around 50% of cubs don't survive their first year. Hunger, extreme cold, adult males, and even other predators like wolves are constant threats. The polar bear isn't just brute strength, it's intelligent. Polar bears demonstrate complex problem-solving skills. In captivity, they've learned to stack objects to reach food placed high up, use stones as tools to break ice, open doors, and latches, even play with objects, a playful behavior that indicates intelligence. In the wild, they show creativity in hunting. Some cover their black noses with a paw when stalking seals, a clever form of camouflage. Others throw chunks of ice at seals to stun them. They've even been observed using ice pieces as weapons. And here's something surprising. Polar bears and grizzly bears are now interbreeding. As climate change pushes polar bears south and grizzlies north, they're meeting and mating. The hybrid offspring is called a Paisley or Growler bear. They have traits from both: intermediate fur color, the swimming ability of a polar bear, and the strength of a grizzly. This shows the incredible genetic adaptability of these animals. And now, the most urgent part: conservation. The polar bear is classified as vulnerable by the IUCN, and some populations are already in critical danger. The biggest threat? Climate change. The Arctic is warming twice as fast as the rest of the planet. Sea ice, the polar bear's home and hunting platform, is melting rapidly. In some areas, it has shrunk by 40% in the last 30 years. There are already reports of polar bears drowning because the distance between ice floes has become too great to swim across. But there's still hope. Conservation efforts include protected areas across the Arctic international treaties, restricting hunting scientific research to monitor and understand populations, global awareness campaigns, action to reduce carbon emissions. The polar bear has become a symbol of the fight against climate change. Saving the polar bear means saving the entire Arctic, and that impacts the whole planet. Scientists warn that if the Arctic continues melting at the current rate, polar bears could become functionally extinct in the wild by 2100. But if we act now, there's still time to turn things around. So, did you enjoy learning about the giant of the Arctic? It's impressive how perfectly adapted the polar bear is to one of the most extreme environments on Earth, isn't it? But now that environment is changing too fast. Which fact impacted you the most? The black fur, the 100-kilometer swim, or the critical conservation status? Tell us in the comments. If you liked this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to discover more incredible animals. And tell me, which animal do you want to see in the next video? Shark? Elephant? Crocodile? Comment below. I read them all. You're featured on Animal Facts, and we'll see you on the next adventure. Fly high, nature lover.